Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. The police are sworn to uphold and enforce the law, but frequently the law itself makes work for the police. On April 27th, a prisoner serving a life term in the state penitentiary was called as a witness in the trial of the state versus Eddie Flanagan. It took a simple court injunction to release him from the penitentiary. The prisoner, Les Davis, had a wife and son. They had arranged for him to be called as a witness through Eddie Flanagan, the criminal on trial. Purpose, to free Les Davis.
Another minute now, Ma. Trial's supposed to start at 10.
You know, I never thought it would work, Ralph, for Ed to ask for Les as a witness. I thought the lawyers would make trouble.
All your ideas work. Besides, Eddie and Pop used to work together. They're good friends.
You know something, Ralph? I'm nervous about seeing him again.
You've seen him every week at the prison.
It's not the same.
There he is.
You keep moving, Ralph. Everything's got to work the way we timed it.
Right. You're doing real good, son.
Pa's waiting outside.
Here's your gun.
Let's go.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll get on that right away. It's Les Davis. He was over at the county courthouse as a witness in the Eddie Flanagan trial. Somebody walked in, shot a guard, and took him with him.
Davis. He's supposed to be in the pen.
A court injunction got him out. Here's a teletype on it.
Looking to set up roadblocks fast. Let's see now. Here's the courthouse right in here. The place is covered with side roads.
Hell.
The way the Davis family works, the man who picked up Les could be his son, Ralph.
Yeah, it could be.
Myra's in on it, too?
She's the smartest one of all. She wants her husband back, and she's got him.
10-4. 2830 just found an abandoned car that matches the description of the getaway car. Four-door sedan, green with gray top, NNX245.
Send some lab men out checking for fingerprints.
If they change cars, it's going to be tougher.
Yeah, I know. Where'd they find the car?
Just off a small feeder road between 41 and 20.
We're going out to the Davis house.
Right. Wouldn't that be the last place they'd go? They know we'll give the house a good going over.
Look, I told you Myra's smart. She knows we won't expect them to go to the house. She figures we'll be looking for him to break through the roadblocks. Come on, let's move.
This is the place I told you about last night. Don't show yourself. And I'll be back for both of you before dark.
Think you can get rid of the cops that fast?
Well, maybe, maybe not. But if I don't, Ralph put plenty of food and water in there yesterday. Just stay here till I do come back.
They'll put a tail on you.
Well, I'll get rid of them. Once they search the house and have a little talk with me, it'll be the safest place there is.
Then they'll open the roadblocks and we'll be on our way.
And we'll take off. Okay, it'll work.
I'll get the automatic rifle out of the truck.
Honey, you worked this out real good.
Be careful.
Come on, Pop. Over here. Well, here's where we stay for a while.
Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Oh, what do you want?
Your husband was going to be a witness at the Ed Flanagan trial this morning.
Yeah, I heard about it.
You know he escaped?
Good for him.
What's the motor running for?
Battery almost died this morning. Hard to get started. I'm charging it.
How long's it been running like this?
Oh, excuse me, please. I don't know what time I started it.
If it really needed charging, it'd read way overcharged.
Well, then it must be charged enough. Would you turn it off for me, please?
Certainly.
Thanks.
Can we go inside and talk?
Why not? If the old man's loose, you guys will be all over the place anyway.
Check this car over with a fine-tooth comb.
If she used it to pick up Les, she's covered up the warm engine. I'll see if I can find anything.
Okay. Where's Ralph?
I don't know. He was out when I got up this morning.
Well, the description of the guy that helped Les fits Ralph.
Well, maybe the boy did it. You know, he and Les were always close.
Yeah. You been here all morning?
That's right, all morning.
You mind if I look around?
You got a search warrant?
Do you want me to send for one?
No, go ahead. If you look around now, I'll get rid of you that much sooner.
He killed a deputy, Mrs. Davis. When we get in this time, it's curtains.
I hope he makes it all the way.
There's only one thing that bothers me. Why aren't you with him?
Oh, come on now, Mr. Matthews. Let's not play it so cool. What makes you think I'd tell you anything?
Well, you see, that's my job, to look around and ask questions and to try and be smarter than the Davises.
I can hardly wait to see how this comes out.
Oh, I'll tell you how it'll come out exactly, but I can't say when.
Les will make it pretty expensive for you to get him back.
Yeah? We'll pay the price. You find anything?
Nothing in the car. It's a smart trick she used, keeping the engine running.
Yeah, now she doesn't have to explain why the engine was hot.
But can she explain why the wheels and brake drums were hot? Just running the motor won't do that.
Then my hunch was right. She wasn't on the job. 2150 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
I want plain clothesmen here at the Davis place. 8-hour shifts. Stand for?
10-4.
Hop in. Hi. Hi. Now, don't let them see you. Their house is right by the side of a hill. If you park there, you got plenty of cover.
I see.
Well, what's up, officer? Did I run a red light or something?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I'll make it real easy for you. What are you following me for?
All right, Miss Davis, I am following you.
Well, you can just get lost. You can call your Mr. Matthews on the radio and tell him you spoiled the job.
$27.38 to $21.50.
2150 by.
She just pulled across the road and blocked me. She knows I'm following her. I'm afraid I've had it.
Try and pick her up again. 10-4?
10-4.
There's Mom now. Let's go.
Come on, boys, hurry up. Get in there.
Myra Davis was a difficult adversary. She knew that any manhunt depended on precise timing. She had upset the timing of the highway patrol. And now the Davis family, united once more and heavily armed, secure in their daring and confidence that the house was now their safest place to wait for the police pressure to ease.
Come on, let's get back to the house.
Just a minute, I gotta check a car. It's the same cop that followed me before.
She got back about a minute ahead of me.
I'm going to have another talk with her.
A minute could be time enough to pick up Les and Ralph.
That's what I want to find out.
What if they're in there?
We're ahead. If not, we draw a blank. You stay here. You'll know if I'm in trouble.
A man's coming to the door now. It's Matthews, a real smart guy.
How many of them are out there now?
3. Get in there.
Oh, can I talk to you?
It's a free country. Come in.
Thanks.
Look, Mr. Matthews, I've already had the pleasure of your company once today. You've tramped through my house. You've looked at everything. Nobody asked you for a search warrant. Now, would you mind getting out of here?
Mrs. Davis, in some ways you've been very cooperative. Before I leave, I'd like to ask one small favor. On your auto ride this morning, you lost my boy for a few minutes.
Yeah, that boy. He's not very good. You better send him back directing traffic.
In that time, you could have picked up Ralph and Les. I want to make sure they're not here. Do you mind if I look around?
Go ahead. What's the matter? Lost your appetite for snooping?
Well, I'm a little nervous, Mrs. Davis. Les is a tough guy. His being out makes it rough on me. You can understand that.
Yeah, I can understand that. So how about leaving? Before I get so sorry for you, I start crying.
Be my guest.
Okay. I think he's going to give up.
You work great, Ma. I'm going to check the other side of the house.
Well, Les?
In a way, I wish you'd have come in. We'd have cut that 3 down to 2.
No, Les. This way we're clean. We hide out for a week, then over the border. No trouble, no shooting.
I'm not so sure it was a good idea to come here.
Why, this is the best possible place. Why, they think we're too smart to hide out here.
Get the bullhorn, Sergeant.
Right.
She alone in there?
That's what she wants you to think. When I was there the first time today, she was like ice. She was on my back every minute.
Yeah, she's hardly the type you'd pick for Mother of the Year.
Yeah, right now she's edgy, nervous.
Did you get a chance to look around?
Well, I started to when I realized that they were there, so I walked out. I like to live.
Even on days like this?
Here. Thanks. Now, look, Sergeant, you work your way around to the back of the house. Get in a position where you can spot every window. Go ahead and be careful.
Right.
Good luck.
Les Davis, we know you and Ralph are in there. This is Matthews, Highway Patrol. Now come on out and save yourself some trouble. If you don't come out, some people are going to get hurt, maybe killed.
Stupid, thick-headed flatfoot.
So he knows we were in here. That only changes one thing. We'll leave for Mexico today instead of a week from today.
We can make it, Pop. There's only 3 of them out there.
Sure we can.
Well, let's change that 3 to 2 right now.
Make it the big guy, the one who was in here.
I don't know why I expected people to have common sense. All they've got is guns. Hit on the horn. Tell headquarters what's going on here.
3016 to headquarters.
Headquarters, bye.
Our 1020 is at Davis' house. We've got him holed up. Les, Ralph, and Myra Davis are inside. Send all the help you can spare. Send tear gas. Better make that 1199. We'll need help fast. 10-4?
10-4.
There are a lot of bushes out in the front yard. If I stay low, I can cross the porch into the yard and maybe work halfway up to them before they see me. Then we can get out of here.
What do you think, Myra?
Well, the kid's a good shot. He's fast. And furthermore, those flat feet don't expect it. Let him go.
All right, son. Take your time. And when you make your move, we'll give you some covering fire. Maybe I ought to be going out there instead of Ralph.
Listen, Les, we've never played this to lose before. Let's not start now.
Look, front door just open. I can't see anything, but let's fire a couple of shots into the bushes just to play safe.
Well, let's cover him.
Hey.
The bushes right in front of the house. I think I saw something. You'll need that automatic gun.
We'll need that automatic rifle. I better go out and see if I can get it.
Les, come back. We don't need it. They can't see the car from where they are. I think we can make it that way. It's worth a try.
Ralph did real good. He just shot a little too high. The cops were on the ground behind the trees.
Well, don't you shoot high. I'll drive.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Back in the house. I'll cover you.
You think she'll come out?
No, she's the toughest of them all.
Myra.
It's Les. He's still alive. Go over and see what you can do for him.
Myra, Les is alive. He wants to talk to you. Myra, there's nothing to fight for now. I don't know how long he's gonna last, but he keeps asking for you. Myra, throw down your guns and come out. He keeps calling for you.
Drop the gun! Drop it!
Les.
Myra.
He's dead. Cops!
You're a smart girl. Too bad you could have had a nice family, too.
I hope you'll be with us next week. Until then, remember, no matter how new, the safest device in your car is you. This is Bradley Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. The responsibility of the law enforcement agencies covers wide areas. They are not only on the alert to prevent crime and apprehend criminals, but are constantly at work in protecting the life and property of all citizens. On October 19th, an incident took place at a local motel which was destined to trigger the highway patrol into a situation far more important than the incident itself. What occurred threatened to have a far-reaching effect on an entire community.
Morning. What are you doing here?
We talked that all over before, Walters.
I know we have. That's why I'm asking you why you're here. I made it clear.
Yeah, the only thing that's clear is that a bill is due, and we're here to collect it, as always.
Now you listen to me, once and for all. I've paid you to protect my business for a long time.
You're wrong. You're up to date. That's all. This is pay-as-you-go, Walters.
It's not that simple. Have you read the papers lately? According to Merrill Hartman, you boys are on your way out. And I'm not planning to make a career for you by paying for protection I don't need.
You need it, Walters. You need it. Take my word for it.
Well, I don't want it anymore. Now get out. I got a motel to run here.
Walters! That protection you don't want. I'm gonna show you how wrong you are. How about it, Walters? Do we understand each other now?
We do.
You see, Walters, this has been our most expensive payday as yet. Extra money, extra time, extra trouble. I've got some very bad news for you, Walter.
Bad news?
Yes, you see, the people that I work for, they want to know what's going on all the time.
But you got what you came for.
Oh, yes, we always do. But you see, these people that I work for, they don't want any trouble. They don't like mistakes. They never allow more than one mistake. And Walters, you made yours.
I understand. Believe me.
We'll meet the 1st of next month. Monday, isn't it?
Monday.
Look, your articles are great, but you realize you're sticking your neck out a mile?
Somebody's got to stick his neck out. But I need help. I can't do it alone.
Merrill, you've been involved in this for what, 3-4 months? I've been involved in it for years. Let me tell you one thing. When a thing like this cracks, it cracks wide open.
I guess all it takes is one man.
Yeah, that's right, a guy with guts. Guts enough to come forward with evidence, something concrete. When this happens, well, you're halfway home.
All right, Dan. What do you got for me? The public is my newspaper's responsibility and mine. I'll need all kinds of help, information, names, leads, the kind of stuff you run into.
Look, we're all for you. We'll do anything we can for you, but I can't feed you this stuff for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want you killed. 2, your job is news. Ours is solving crimes.
Dan, I need your help.
All right, you got it, but on my terms.
Well, I heard this noise and the fighting, and so naturally the first
Yeah,
thing
I know. You told us. Now, when you ran out, did you see anything about the car that would help us out? License number, make, the model, anything like that?
Look, I'm no hero. I was scared. You don't remember what to think of when you're scared like that. You know, what to look for.
Sure, I understand. Don't leave. I'll take a look around. Okay. You feeling a little better now, Mr. Walters?
Yeah, a little better.
Sure you want to sit up?
Yeah.
Well, let's go over this just once more. Now, you say that 2 men you never saw before came in here, beat you up, helped themselves to most of the cash in the drawer, but not all of it, and then they left. Is that right?
That's right, Sergeant. It was just a robbery, pure and simple.
No, Mr. Walters, I don't think so. Now, use your phone?
Now, look, let's not make a federal case out of this. It was just a robbery. So I got insurance. So this is the chance you take in any business. I don't want any red tape. Forget it.
Well, Mr. Walters, all crimes have to be investigated. And this is no exception. Now, we'll try to make it as brief and convenient as we can. But it's our job to look into it. We'll see about getting you to the hospital.
I told you that isn't necessary. Now,
I'm sorry. Get me Highway Patrol headquarters. Oh, this is Sergeant Williams. May I speak to Dan Matthews?
Second one is right in here. Matthews. Oh, hello, Ken. What? Looks like it. All right, fine. I'll meet you there in about 10-15 minutes. Yeah.
What about it, Dan?
What about what?
That newsy phone call. Remember, that's my business. I got a big nose.
You want to sniff this one out, huh?
Got 1 foot in my car.
Okay, it's Walter's Motel. On my terms, though. Come on.
Walters gave us a little trouble this morning. He's not the only one that has given us trouble in the last couple of days, Mr. Daggett.
Now, who, for instance?
Merle Hartman, boy crusading columnist, for instance. Have you had time to read the papers?
Merrill Hartman. His little crusade is looking for a hero. Walters wanted to be a hero. Tomorrow, somebody else will have the same complex. You obviously wasted your morning, boys. You roughed up the wrong man. The big fish in this case is Merrill Hartman.
At the exact time that Daggett's plans were being formulated, the head of the Highway Patrol was on the way to an often repeated scene, one with which he hoped to make the first dent in the racketeer's armor.
Hi, Ken.
Hi.
What cooks?
Oh, Mr. Walters, this is Mr. Matthews of the Highway Patrol.
How do you do, sir?
How are you?
Would you mind telling him just what happened?
Well, I told the sergeant here there was no reason to make such a big deal out of this. Like I said, it was just a case of robbery.
Just a case of robbery. That makes it a big deal, but we need your cooperation. Did you get a description?
No.
I didn't notice a thing. It all happened so fast.
Now, wait a minute. You took a beating of going over like this and you didn't notice anything. Come on. Who are you fooling?
I'm sorry, Mr. Matthews. I can't help you.
I don't know. This whole thing just doesn't add up. No identification. A beating like that. Take a look, Ken. Money's still in the register. All right, what about it?
You want me to level with you?
That's a gross understatement.
All right, Mr. Matthews. I understand your position. Now you understand mine.
I'll try.
Sure, we both know what happened here today. And if it's going to cost me a few bucks so it don't happen again, I say okay. I know what I'm talking about. I learned my lesson the hard way.
Can't feed this thing.
I'm scared, real scared. And this is the way it's got to be. Now I'm going to ask you to cooperate with me. Leave me alone. Forget it.
Well, this is a dead end like all the others. Make sure he's taken care of. Come on, let's go.
Buster Walters, you sure you want to leave it like this?
Say, Dan.
Yeah, what?
Boy, he's really scared. You know what? I don't blame him.
He's too scared to talk, and that leads us nowhere.
Oh, we're somewhere, Dan. I can talk. Read Merle Hartman tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to phone this one in right now.
Remember, boys, discretion. Do what must be done. Now, perhaps all Merrill needs is the same as Walters, perhaps more. That's for you to judge. That's what you're being paid for.
He'll be stopped, Mr. Daggett. Whichever way we play it, he'll be stopped.
Oh. Now watch that hedge when you go out. All right, go ahead.
In an effort to stem the tide of the now flourishing protection racket, reporter Merrill Hartman lost no time in telephoning in his most important story to date. Anxious to stir up public opinion, Hartman hoped that his editorial of the next morning would act as the catalyst to bring forth one witness with information so desperately needed by the Highway Patrol.
Hartman, you cut too deep. You're competing. Now, look, we don't like competition. We eliminate it. Simple. Huh?
I guess it is.
Now, our business is protection. We've been reading up on your stuff, and we don't like what you have to say. So we're going to protect all those newspaper readers by eliminating the source. You can see we're civic-minded, can't you? You understand, genius?
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Listen, Hartman, you're in bigger trouble than you know. Unless we understand each other. Now, do we?
We do. We do.
Good. You're smarter than you're right. Now, like our customers, when they make a mistake, we give them another chance. Just once. Now, this is yours.
Operator, give me the Highway Patrol. This is Merrill Hartman. I want to talk to Dan Matthews. Please, urgent.
It's Matthews.
Hi, Dan. Guess who's sorry he didn't keep his big mouth shut?
Merrill Hartman?
Well, not exactly sorry. At least we started something.
In the right direction, I hope.
Dan, a couple of our boys were just over here. I'm calling from home. I'm not sure I'm going to be as pretty as I used to be.
Is it the same treatment that Walter's got? Look, are you okay?
Yeah, I think think so.
I'm going to have a man on you 24 hours a day.
Fine. I'm all for it.
We've been looking for a lead in the right direction. Oh, by the way, would you like to be that brave witness we've been looking for?
Well, I don't know about that brave part, Dan, but you got yourself a witness. Not much to report, except a couple of the best descriptions you've got so far. I'll fill you in later, after I take care of me.
But make sure you do. Now, look, my man's going to be with you. You won't make a move that we don't know about. Now, look, one more thing. Lay off the expose till we get things set up the way we want it.
The story.
Look, I said lay off of it.
Dan, we're in trouble. It's the roughest one so far.
Yeah, what do you mean?
At the motel. I phoned it in there.
Look, kill it, and kill it fast.
No, it's too late. You better get your man over here, and fast. The paper's gone to bed.
A 24-hour watch had immediately been put into effect by the Highway Patrol to protect Merrill Hartman. Following police procedure, each shift was instructed to stay in constant contact with headquarters, reporting any unusual incident that might appear significant to the patrol's trackdown of the criminals.
Ken, come on in the office. We'll check those mug books again.
Right. Say, didn't you want to check with Merrill Hartman right about now?
Oh, yeah, thanks. Give me Merrill Hartman, will you? Yeah.
Hello?
Matthews. Oh, hello, Hartman. How's your head?
No worse than the rest of me, but I still think I'm in one piece.
You know, that article of yours in the morning paper was great. It should cause something to pop. Now, look, you stay where you are and relax. We got you covered, okay?
Fine. I'll be in touch. Hello?
Mr. Hartman, you remember me? You were here yesterday.
Who is this?
Elliot Walters. I run the motel out on...
Oh, yes, Mr. Walters.
I read your article in the paper this morning, and it was pretty much of an eye-opener for me. I see things more clearly now, and I'd like to help. Can we talk?
Well, Mr. Walters, any information you have is valuable, I'm sure. But why don't you call Dan Matthews at Highway Patrol headquarters?
And I don't want to get involved with the police, Mr. Hartman. Believe me, this is something we can discuss personally.
Why personally, Mr. Walters?
I don't want to discuss it over the phone. I got all the information you need, all of it. I kept records, dates, names.
When? When would you like to talk, Mr. Walters?
Well, as soon as you can get here. Now, we're going to have to handle this very carefully, very carefully. No one must ever know where you got this.
Okay. Trust me, no one will know. Where are you, at the motel?
No, I'm over at my brother-in-law's. I think it's better if we talk here. It's more safe. 420 Crestview Drive. How soon can you make it?
I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Beautiful, Mr. Walters. Very well done.
Now I've done everything you asked. Now will you leave me alone?
But there's just one problem.
I told you I wouldn't talk. Please, I promise.
Oh, I believe you. Never a word.
And remember, Dan, I promised nobody be with me. If he thinks I'm not playing straight, he won't talk.
Okay. You do everything you told Walters you'd do. Now, we'll be watching you from a distance. You'll be covered. Good luck.
$34.70 to headquarters.
Headquarters, by.
Get 3016.
This is 3016. By?
Subject about to leave home. Unscheduled.
Let me have it. He's headed for 420 Crestview Drive. When you get there, check back. 10-4?
10-4.
10-4. And bingo.
We're not going anywhere.
Not for a while. We're just going to have a nice talk. You and me. Sort of pass the time.
At Crestview Drive, at 420 Crestview Drive. Does that ring a bell with you?
Well, it's a nice neighborhood, kind of expensive. Guess that's all it means to me.
This might lead no places. Run a check on who lives at 420 Crestview Drive. When he finds out, fill a pack and bring it to me, eh?
I remember this now. Extortion racket, wasn't it?
Let me see. Daggett, John Daggett. Yeah, we never had enough evidence to make it stick. We opened the investigation about 3 years ago.
Maybe we really got something going for us now.
Look, if Daggett's Walter's brother-in-law, I'm Dick Tracy. Come on. Headquarters to 3470. Headquarters to 3470. Headquarters to 3470. Come in, please. 3470. Send a car out there to check right away. Notify all units about Simpson. Check Walter's motel.
Looks like we got troubles.
So is Merrill. Come on, let's move.
Hello there. I'm looking for a Mr. Walters. Mr. Hartman? Yes. I can find Mr. Walters around in the back, on the patio. Just go around the side of the house. Thank you.
That other man is in custody. Walters is dead. I just got word from his motel.
That's the end of the line for you, Daggett.
I've been in trouble before, Matthews, and I've always managed to get out, no matter what.
You're not a cheap racketeer anymore. You're now involved in a murder. Put him in a car. Well, Merrill?
I got a story to write. The final one.
I hope it's the final one.
I'm glad I'm still able to write it.
Yeah, look, I got a tagline for you.
Crime doesn't pay?
Yeah, that's right. Now, do me a favor. Will you go home and sell your typewriter? See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, if you care to drive, drive with care. This is Bradley Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Across the nation, men of the Highway Patrol remain constantly alert to crime, danger, and violence. They know that even in a lonely, isolated service station, tragedy can strike hard and fast. To a sailor and his girl, there was no sign here of impending disaster. Nothing to warn them that in a matter of moments, they would be trapped in a nightmare.
It's a funny way to run a gas station. I wonder where everybody is. Gee, honey, I wish you'd filled the tank like you said you would.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I just didn't have time.
Never mind. Hey, anybody here?
Jimmy, please make him hurry.
Scared?
Yes.
Don't be. Where we're going, nobody can find us, not even your father.
I just keep thinking of him when he reads that note.
Let him. What if he does try and find us? By that time, we'll be Mr. and Mrs. James Newman. Hey, that sounds great, you know? Mr. and Mrs. James Newman.
Jimmy, do something to make him hurry.
I'll see if I can find somebody. After all, we can't keep that minister waiting.
Mister, help me, please. I need help. Please.
What?
It's my baby. Please, mister. Will you come inside?
Come on.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I don't know what to do. What's the matter? My baby's dying. He's not breathing. He's choking.
He's choking. Where is he?
In here. I'm all alone. My husband's going to get a doctor. Oh, my baby's dying.
2150 to headquarters.
Headquarters by?
I'm at the intersection of 90 and Highway 41. Cancel APB 411. Hit and run, 13:30 this date. Vehicle and suspect in custody. I'll be in a little while. 10-4?
10-4.
You were doing 85, Doctor. You are a doctor, aren't you?
Yes, officer. My shield's on the front of the car.
Yeah, I saw it. What's the hurry?
I have an emergency call, a sick baby.
Where?
Hoffman Service Station, Highway 41.
What's the trouble?
I don't know. Ed Hoffman drove up to my place so excited he could hardly talk. He was too rattled to drive, so I made him stay behind. He says the baby's choking.
I'll get in my car. I'll drive you. Come on. To headquarters.
Headquarters by?
I'm going to the Hoffman Service Station. It's on Highway 41. It's an emergency call for the doctor. I'm taking him there now. 10-4?
10-4.
I think he's gonna be all right.
He's breathing. He's alive.
Here's your handkerchief.
Jimmy, you were wonderful.
It's nothing. It's just stuff they taught us in boot camp. Hey, look at the time. We gotta get married. Lady? Lady?
You saved his life.
Well, I'm only glad we weren't too late. I'm sure he'll be all right now. The doctor should be along soon, and we are on our way to get married. I think we'll be going now.
You saved my baby's life.
I'll fill the gas tank myself and leave the money at the pump.
$21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters by?
My 1020 is the Hoffman Service Station on Highway 41. Send 2275 to Dr. Ronald Kincaid's house. You've got the address there. You'll find Mr. Hoffman there. The doctor's here with me now. Now have William stand by. 10-4?
10-4.
Everything all right?
We're in trouble, real trouble, starting right now.
May I offer you both my best wishes and my congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for everything.
And thank Mrs. Lincoln for being a witness.
My wife enjoys nothing more, I assure you. You're off on a honeymoon now, are you?
We sure are. 10 whole days.
Jimmy's got a 10-day leave.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
So am I. We have a spot waiting for us that's miles from anybody. 10 whole days just by ourselves.
Mrs. Lincoln and I got away by ourselves just last year. We had a delightful week fishing. Well, goodbye, Mr. and Mrs. Newman, and good luck to you.
Hey, you know, that sounds great. Mr. and Mrs. Newman.
Let me have that again, Doc.
Mrs. Hoffman just told me the child was choking, and a young sailor got it to breathing again. To do it, he breathed in the baby's mouth.
Well, go on.
I'm almost sure the child has epidemic meningitis. It's highly contagious. I've just inoculated Mrs. Hoffman.
You say the sailor breathed into the kid's mouth. Where's the sailor now?
Mrs. Hoffman doesn't know. She doesn't even know his name.
Come on, Doc. Take it off for me fast.
Well, the sailor drove up for gas. He saw the trouble, and he got the child breathing again. Then he drove off without even giving his name.
What are his chances?
Unless he receives inoculations within a matter of hours, he has no chance at all. Without inoculation and treatment, he will most certainly die.
Oh, brother, that's great.
I've just telephoned the hospital. They're sending an ambulance for the baby.
Put Williams on fast.
This is Williams.
My 1020 is the Hoffman Service Station. Highway 41. Get out here fast. 10-4?
On my way. 10-4.
Doc, we gotta find that sailor.
But Mrs. Hoffman has no idea.
Well, if we do find him, have you got the medicine, the inoculation?
Yes. And I want you to be inoculated, too, with meningitis. There's no such thing as being too careful.
How's the mother? Can I talk to her?
Well, she's in pretty good shape, but you haven't much time. The ambulance will be here in a few minutes.
Look, I've got to talk to her. She's the only one who can help us find the sailor. Oh, Mrs. Hoffman. Oh, Mrs. Hoffman, can I talk to you for a minute, please? I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Yes, I suppose so. I don't want to leave my baby too long.
I can understand that, but do you realize how important it is to us to find the sailor that helped save your baby's life?
Oh, yes, Mr. Matthews. I was frantic and beside myself. I didn't know what to do. I'm afraid I was losing my head.
When he came in here, he got some gasoline for the car.
Yes, sir.
Did he pay cash or use a credit card?
Oh, cash. When I finally got hold of myself and knew my baby was going to be all right, I ran outside to ask his name or something. But he and the pretty young lady had left. He did leave some money by the gas pump, though. Oh, I feel so badly. After what he did and all, I never got a chance to thank him properly.
Well, as you know, this is a doctor. He says your baby's going to be okay, so you got nothing to worry about. But do you realize how important it is for us to find the sailor and his girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
Golly, it sure is miles from anything.
I told you, 1,000,000 miles from nowhere. You think your father can find us here?
Oh, Jimmy, I wish we didn't have to run away. If Dad only knew you better, I'm sure he'd understand.
Oh, he'll be okay, honey. Heck, with your mother dead and everything, he just gets panicky at the idea of being alone. Come on, let's go inside. Wait a minute. This has to be done right. Happy?
Terribly.
Me too. I've never been so happy in my whole life. Well, honey, here we are.
Hi, anything new?
Mother and baby are on their way to the hospital. What about the bulletins?
I followed the first one at 1440. Notified the newspapers, radio, and TV stations in the area. I gave them all we've got. An unidentified sailor and a girl, the descriptions.
That's good.
Well, I filed a supplementary on the APB. Anybody who's been near this gas station needs an inoculation. Kincaid's standing by at the hospital. He's got plenty of supplies. You gonna stay here?
Well, for now, yeah. But look, the mother's not sure. She thought she heard the sailor say they were off to get married.
Today?
Yeah, but she doesn't know what direction they're headed in. Well, the way I figure, if he left here at 1400, traveled at 40 miles an hour, he's got to be within a 60-mile radius.
From here?
Yeah. Look, cover every judge, jury, justice of the peace, city hall, everything. Find out if the sailor and his girl got married after 1400 today. Because if we don't find these kids, they're going to die, and you know that.
Yeah, I'll keep in touch.
Right.
Hey, Mrs. Newman, look. I'm a civilian.
Mrs. Newman. Gosh, it still sounds so funny.
The radio. What do you mean it sounds funny? You know what it sounds to me? The two of us up here all alone on top of a mountain. Your father blowing his top because he couldn't find us in 1,000,000 years. No telephone, nobody to bother us, nothing. Baby, this is what I call being alive.
girl, the first hours of their honeymoon seem magic and gloriously alive. But the Highway Patrol worked hard, knowing that a few hours away, Jim Newman and his bride have a rendezvous with death.
$30.16 to $21.50. $30.16 to $21.50. $30.16 to $21.50.
$21.50 by.
We've got a break. 2245 reports a justice of the peace married a sailor and a girl this afternoon at 15:30.
Who and where?
The justice is John Lincoln. His address 400 Main, Shelbyville. And the sailor is Seaman First Class James Newman. He has their names in the record.
What about the girl?
She's Betty Jane Martin. I'm trying to get her home address now, and it's 1850 to follow it up.
All right, you check the girl's family. They must know where she is. And if you do find out, take me to JP's house. Now, what
outside and we'll cook.
Our first married meal, and I'm not going to have you say it was hot dogs. Here, sit down and read this.
Newspaper? The old guy must have tossed it in, I guess.
Oh, don't you want it?
Are you kidding? Who cares what's going on in the world? I've got my whole world right here.
Look, Mr. Grundy, he was a sailor. Does that help any?
Well, there's been no sailor in here today. I'm sure of that. In fact, nobody in uniform.
He doesn't have to be in uniform, Mr. Grundy.
Well, then how am I going to know he was a sailor?
Mr. Grundy, we don't have to tell you what an epidemic of meningitis means. That's why I inoculated you. Anyone who came anywhere near that boy is in danger.
Look, Mr. Grundy, think. Now, really think. You're the only store within a 12-mile radius. Exactly who was in here after 4 o'clock this afternoon?
I see. Well, if you hear anything at all, just call the operator. She'll know where to find us. Thanks very much.
Any luck?
No, that was the last motel. I checked every cabin for rent within 25 miles.
Any report from the other units?
Well, 2370 phoned in. Negative.
That's a help.
Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, what?
I want to offer a reward.
A reward?
For the return of my daughter.
You want to offer a reward?
I'll give anything to save her life.
Look, Mr. Martin, this is none of my business. I'm just curious, but I gotta ask the question. Why do you feel your daughter had to run away from home and get married?
I didn't approve of the marriage.
Did you talk to her about the marriage and about the boy?
Well, no, I didn't.
Right now, she's in love with the guy. You never even took the trouble to find out about him, did you?
I didn't want her to leave home.
That makes you pretty selfish, doesn't it? Because from all reports, she picked herself an awful nice guy. Mr. Martin, we don't want a reward. But you know what you should give? Why don't you give your daughter a little understanding? A little love and kindness.
Say, mister, wait a minute. There was a young feller in here today answering your description all right.
When? What time?
Well, I'd say about 4:30. He said he just arrived.
Did he say where he was staying?
Well, not that I could swear to, no. But he did say he had a cabin up in the mountains. And there ain't many cabins up there.
Well, how many are there?
Well, let's see, there's one or two up there. The Taylor boys have a cabin way up on the North Range. But he's away. That's right, he's a lieutenant in the Navy.
What? Look, Mr. Grundy, let's get this straight now. Take it slow. You say there's a cabin up on the North Ridge. It's owned by a guy in the Navy, right?
That's right, his name is Taylor.
That could be it. Jim requested leave from the lieutenant, and he loaned him his place for the honeymoon.
You stand by and keep the line open here. I'm going up there. You stand by too, Doc.
Oh, Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, what?
May I go too?
Yeah, sure. Come on.
Hey, you know something? My wife's a great cook.
How do you know? We haven't started eating yet.
Well, I can tell by looking.
Well, as long as you're just looking, young man, why don't you start a fire in the fireplace? It'll be nice later on when it gets dark.
Romantic, huh?
Maybe a little bit. And a great cook.
And no kindling. Oh, never mind. We'll use the newspaper. Hey. Funny, that sounded like a car. Hey, Jay, it's your father. Look.
No, Jimmy, what'll we do?
See, he was within the highway patrol. Listen, honey. We're married, and nobody can change that.
Oh, he can, Jimmy. I know he can.
No, all he can do is spoil our 10 days, and I'll be darned if I'll let him do that. Listen, honey, you with me?
You know I am.
All right, then, come on.
Well, this has to be where they are. It just has to be.
There's Betty Jane's suitcase.
Are you sure?
There's a car.
Where? All right, come on, it's out in the road. Let's go.
Williams at 2150. Bye.
The kid spotted us. Decided to duck out. They're headed down the mountain in the boy's car. Bring the dock. Meet me at the first fork. I'll try to close in there. 10-4?
10-4. Let's go.
you're going to kill somebody driving like that. What's your hurry? Okay, take it easy. You're going to have to get a shot right away, and you too.
A shot?
Betty Jane, darling, it's all right.
You all set, Doc?
Come here, son. Take off your coat.
Hey, what's going on here anyway?
Come on, Jimmy, you got nothing to worry about. Let me have your coat.
It's all right. And if you love him, I'm glad you married him. I'm sorry I didn't give you the understanding I should have. I want you to know that. And I want Jim to know it, too.
Oh, he's all set for you.
Officer, is Jimmy going to be all right?
Neither one of you have anything to worry about. Here's your coat. Good luck. See you back at headquarters. See Highway Patrol next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross or your community blood bank, not on the highway. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, or when the welfare of its citizens is endangered, each state has a duly authorized organization that swings into action. It may be called the state militia, or the state police, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Law enforcement agencies have rarely encountered criminals more vicious than Ralph Neal. On the morning of July 8th, he killed a guard, escaped from the state penitentiary, and paused in his flight only long enough to make a ruthless decision about his wounded companion.
Lots of traffic for this time of morning. Gonna have to keep running all the way. You make it?
Just give me a second to rest this leg. The slug missed the bone all right, but it feels like it's still in there.
The arrangements for the getaway were made by Matt Parker, brother of the convict Neal had slugged.
You, Matt?
Where's Jeff?
He's dead. Never made it over the wall.
All right, get in. There's some clothes in the back. This way you get out. Here's about 20 bucks. Follow that highway. About a quarter of a mile, you'll come to a little town.
I'm going to the city with you.
You got nothing to say about it.
Well, now, look. You take me into the city, there's a good hunk of donut for you. You try dropping me out here, you and I are going to have trouble.
You got a gun? Well, I have. You're talking pretty big for a guy in your spot. Now, get out of here before I decide to give the cops a break. Here, take this stuff with you.
An escaped convict is a deadly enemy. If he's as brutal and as cunning as Ralph Neal, he is never underestimated. Every law enforcement agency is alerted, including the Highway Patrol. The operation will be directed from whatever district the head of the patrol is at that time.
All units been notified?
Yes, sir.
There's a further report coming in from the prison right now.
Jeff Parker recaptured. Ralph Neal still at large. Last known to be unarmed, wearing prison garb. Supplemental description, 6 feet, 1... Here, file these. Brown, Sergeant, come over here. We'll set up a Neal on this map.
How can anyone break out of a prison like that?
Anyone can't. Neal did. Neal usually gets what he wants. He had nothing to concentrate on 24 hours a day but escape.
Well, he's starting from scratch.
Yeah, and every job he's ever been mixed up with has been a shooting. He'll probably go for a gun fast. Better notify all units that any crime involving the theft of an auto, gun, clothes, or money will assume it to be Neal and follow it up immediately. He's gonna move fast. We're gonna have to move faster.
Neal moved fast, all right. By 7:30 in the morning, he had already stolen a car. But he stole it from a rural community where people get up early. By 7:45, the owner missed it, reported it stolen, and the license number was immediately posted. It was just one of 3 stolen cars, but the time at which it was stolen and the distance from the prison definitely marked it as a possible.
Afraid you ruined that tire, mister. Shouldn't run on them once they go flat.
Can you fix me up with a good used tire right quick?
No. Afraid I haven't got a used one this size in stock. Give you a good deal on a new one, though. $24.50, and you'll be out of here in 10 minutes.
Okay, Pop. You sold me a tire.
There you are, mister. Half a minute to spare.
Well, Pop, I'm afraid I played a dirty trick on you. I don't want to lie about it, though. I knew I only had enough dough for a used tire, and I sent you the rest of the money from town.
Okay. At least you didn't lie about it. I like an honest man. I guess I can trust you for the difference. Just give me some kind of identification. Your driver's license will do.
Well, that's why I didn't have any money. I left my wallet home this morning. Everything's in it.
Okay, mister. Just show me the car registration for your name and address.
You know, Bill, out of all the reports, there are only 3 that show possibilities. As far as time and distance are concerned, they're completely unrelated.
State Patrol. Would you repeat that, please? Edgemont Garage. Now, what did he do? You say you did get the license number. Would you give it to me, please? 2N, as in Nora, 38546. How old was the coupe? How long was he there? Can you give me a description of the man, sir? Yes, sir, I quite agree. Wise guys like that should be locked up. We'll do everything we can.
Anybody near there?
Yeah, Peterson.
Get this out fast. Guy pulls into a gas station with a flat, buys a new tire, pays most of the money, then takes a powder. Says he has no identification, no wallet, and no license. Maybe this is nothing, but boy, the location sure fits in.
Dan, that license number. It's on the hot sheet.
Which one is it?
That one, just southwest of the prison.
Give me that description of Neal again, will you? Thanks. Oh, there's nothing unusual about Neal's description. This could fit a lot of guys, including this character.
Ralph Neal's prison clothes have just been picked up.
Get time and place.
2 miles southwest of the prison, 9:45.
All right. We'll start operating. Throw up a roadblock fast. I want that whole area blocked off so tight a kiddie car couldn't get through. Ask the PD to cover what we can't. Now, Neal's gonna know there's a roadblock. And if we leave one tiny opening, he's gonna find it and get through.
Hello, Vince. Ralph, gotta talk fast. Hit some trouble. We gotta change our plans. I might be throwing roadblocks up all over the place. Now, don't worry about me. I'll get through all right. I want to keep you on the outside of any roadblocks. Well, don't come all the way. There's a little place on the main highway about 20 miles north of town, the Golden Pheasant. Use the four-door with a trunk rack on top so I can spot it real quick. Right. You see him.
2150 to Colfax.
2150, go ahead, Pete.
Located old coupe, license number 2 Nora 38546. Location 20 yards west of Highway 27 on Mill Lane. No check yet, but cars parked on the side of the road, apparently abandoned.
Pete, use caution. We believe Neil may have been driving that car.
Don't worry, Dan. I promised to take my kids to the circus tonight. I'll shake it down and call back. Stand by.
10-4.
Colfax to 2150. How about it, Pete? What'd you find?
What's with Pete?
I don't know. He's had plenty of time to check that car.
Try him again.
Pete, can you read me?
Colfax to 2150. Come in, Pete.
Come in, 2150. Come in, 2150.
Can you read me, Pete? Colfax to 2150. Come in, Pete.
Hit your mic button twice. Maybe his radio's dead.
This is no time for maybes. I'm going up there. Have Stevens meet me out front. Send the nearest patrol car to Pete right away. If he gets there before I do, have him contact me car to car.
Attention, 2112. Peterson is out of service just west of Highway 27 on Mill Lane. Check. Code 3.
What's wrong, officer?
Get going.
What?
Get going. Drive.
Yes, sir. What's it all about, officer?
Listen, I just killed a cop. We might be stopped by other cops. If they do stop us, they'll ask questions. As far as you're concerned, everything's okay. Everything's normal. You understand that? I'm going to be in the back of this bus hiding. If you tip those cops, you'll never get out of that seat. It doesn't make any difference to me if I kill you or not. If you play it smart, mister, you'll have supper with your wife and kids tonight. How old are you, about 10? You look like a smart girl. Now, you don't want to see that bus driver get hurt, do you? Mister, you better talk to these kids. Your life may depend on it.
Margie, you get Billy to stop crying, hon. Billy, you'll do that for me, won't you? You kids are going to have to help me, otherwise I can depend on you, can't I?
Peterson was in bad shape. The disappearance of his uniform and his car served to illustrate that Neil would be almost impossible to anticipate, and that he now was in possession of a gun.
Ambulance is on its way.
How is it? Pretty rough?
He's still breathing. That's about all I can tell. I was able to stop the bleeding, but he was hit awfully hard. Looks like a skull fracture.
Anybody notify his wife?
Not yet. She's still picking up the kids at school.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he was going to take his kids to the circus tonight.
10 to 1, the fingerprints on that jack will say Ralph Neal.
You stay with Peterson until the ambulance gets here.
Right.
Go over to Highway 21 and join Carter. He's sitting all alone with nothing but a motor.
Right.
Car 2217 to car 2210.
Come in, 2217.
What's your 1020?
Mill Road, west of Highway 27.
Have just located Peterson's car parked on highway 5 miles south of your location.
I'd stand by. I'll be right over there. Harris, did you get that transmission?
Yes, sir.
What time did you arrive?
About 8 minutes ago, just before I called you.
How long you figure the car's been here?
I checked under the hood. Motor's still warm.
I'm sure this guy we're chasing is Neil. We know he's brutal and smart, plenty smart, but this just doesn't make any sense. He's got a car in good shape and full of gas, yet he abandons it. Slugs a patrolman, steals his uniform and his patrol car, drives the car 5 miles and ditches it. No, I don't get it.
Sure sounds crazy.
No, this Neil's not crazy, believe me. This is the way he always operates. He's unpredictable. He's got some kind of a plan. We just haven't found it yet, that's all.
Why are you slowing down?
Kids get over the next side road.
Well, not today, they don't. Keep going. What now?
Margie, look, policeman.
Okay, mister, it's up to you whether you live or die.
Margie, Billy, if anybody asks any questions, let Margie do all the talking. Understand, kids? Hi, Dorsey. What's going on? Hi, Les. Seen any suspicious characters on the highway? A man walking along the road or crossing it might have been wearing a patrolman's uniform. No. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen anybody on foot. Why, did you lose one of your boys? Just looking for a guy. Hey, what's the matter, young fella? You aren't afraid of me, are you? What's your name, Sonny?
His name's Billy. He's my brother. And he's got an awful tummy ache. It hurts him awful. And he wants to get home quick.
Oh. Okay, Les, take it away. Take it easy, Les.
Not so fast, driver.
Doing exactly 35.
Yeah, we'll make it 20. All right, turn left at this next road.
Anything good yet?
Why, do you think he's near here?
He's gotta be, and he must be on wheels of some kind. He was reported 17 miles north of here an hour ago.
I'll get it. .2214, go ahead.
Got a worried mother just off the highway, 10 miles north of you. Kid's way overdue from school. Anyone there able to break loose and run it down?
Get names and descriptions of those kids. Also get the name of the driver of the bus they were supposed to have been on. I think Neil was here and I let him get through.
What do you mean?
Well, you said Neil was 17 miles north of here about an hour ago.
Yeah.
That means at 35 miles an hour, he could have been here about a half hour ago. Just about that time, a school bus came through here with 2 kids on it. They were crying and scared. Said it was a stomach ache. You heard this call?
Kids were girl 10, boy 7. Margie and Billy. Driver was Les Wilkins. Bus number 112.
Attention all units, this is Dan Matthews. Neil was reported seen in this area in a school bus. Now all units to the south break the roadblock and head north. All units east and west keep moving till you hit Highway 38. Block every entrance to the highway and stop and search every car, whether it's suspicious or not. Now keep an eye out for that school bus. And under no conditions open fire on it. There are 2 kids on board. Keep me posted. I'm going directly south until I run into the school bus or run into another patrol unit coming north. Now you fellows go south and check every side road, every one of them. Neil's only about a half hour from the city. If he ever gets there, he'll be swallowed up in 5 minutes. Take off.
Check. Okay, boys, let's go.
Okay, hold it. Put on the brake. Leave the motor running. This is the end of the line.
You getting off here?
You are. Okay, you two. You go to the back window and keep a sharp lookout for Indians. Hurry. Go on. All right, on your feet. Get up.
What about the kids?
You don't get going, you won't care what about anything. Hey, kids, come here, quick.
The driver just got off the bus, and I think he's hurt. Now, you better stay with him. I'll go get a doctor and be right back. Come on, come on. Oh, you stay with him. He might need you pretty badly.
Attention all units. This is Dan Matthews. I've located the school bus. It's at the intersection of Highway 101 and Medford Road. It's parked in back of the Golden Pheasant restaurant. Close in on this point immediately. The bus appears to be deserted. All units acknowledge receipt of this message. You in the blue suit, hold it. I'm a police officer. Put your hands on top of your head and come over here, fast.
Do as he says. I'll stop you in a second.
Come on out here.
Now, I'm telling you to hold it, mister. I want the keys of that car and I want them fast. Take them out of your pocket, drop them on the ground.
Keys won't do you any good, Neil. You won't get very far in a flat. You're going to start hearing sirens in a couple of minutes. You people in the doorway, get back inside. There's trouble out here. Somebody may get shot.
Okay, copper. Unless you want to see this innocent bystander shot, you'll throw out your gun and the keys of that patrol car. Remember, you can't get me without hitting him.
No, Neil, you won't shoot him. He's your shield, and a dead weight doesn't make a good shield.
Well, maybe you're right, copper. Maybe I won't shoot him, but neither will you. And if you don't throw out those keys, I'm coming in to get them.
Just move a little closer. I'll be able to get a shot at you.
Play it cool, Vince boy. Play it cool. We'll be out of this jam in a couple of minutes. Well, how about it, copper? You ain't gonna get a shot at me.
And I'm going to keep coming in until you throw out those keys or I take them off your dead body. Now, which will it be?
Ralph, he's not kidding.
Oh, so it's Ralph now. You know this fella pretty well. You ought to know him well enough to know he's playing you for a sucker. Those are the sirens I was telling you about. In a couple of minutes, this place is going to be crawling with riot guns, and there won't be much left when they get through blasting. Play it smart, mister. Neil's wanted for murder. You're not. Pull away from him. He can't hold you with one hand.
Vince, you try to pull loose from me, and I'll put a slug right in the middle of your back.
No, he won't, Vince. He's too smart for that. He knows his only hope is to shoot me before I shoot him. Here come the riot guns, Vince. Is that the way you want it?
You all right, Dan?
Yeah, I'm fine. You better check Neil. He's probably in bad shape.
Looks like he's all through.
You better call the coroner. That's his playmate in the blue suit. Take him down to headquarters and book him.
I found the bus driver and the two kids. Card will take care of them.
Take care of the rest of the details, too, will you, Sergeant? I want to see if I can get back to town in time to take Peterson's kids to the circus. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Broderick Crawford. I hope you've enjoyed the program we brought to you, and you'll be with us again next week at the same time.